Hi, Live an Artful Life readers. This is Amy, and I wanted to include a short video demonstrating the techniques using modeling paste to create texture on your canvas. I do this before I ever start applying paint, and I really enjoy the different textures I can get, visual and actually tactile as well. So here are some of the products. I have a number by Liquitex. Here's their modeling paste, light modeling paste, flexible modeling paste, and also Golden's light modeling paste. So it's very important that when you're working on a stretched canvas surface that you use something that dries to a flexible finish. Liquitex flexible modeling paste or Golden's light molding paste. And it says on the back of the container whether it dries to a flexible or rigid surface. So it's very important that you check those out. And what's confusing here is that Golden's flexible one is labeled light molding paste, and Liquitex light modeling paste is a rigid surface texture medium. So really be sure that you read the back of the labels, and to help me remember, I also go in and I write on my lids so I don't forget and grab the wrong container. So I'll get these two out of the way since I know I'm not using those. And I'll talk to you about this little tip. Because the lids can get gunky inside, I use a little piece of plastic. Excuse me, I'll try to do this one-handed. And I lay the plastic sheet down, and then it makes it super easy to take the lid back off again. So you're going to want to use a palette knife to apply this. This is very thick, kind of like frosting. And that's how you put it on too. You just take your palette knife and you smear it all over the surface. And I try to avoid like super sharp lines like that, but that's just me. So you might really like that. However you want to do it is fine. The other thing that I try to do is make sure that I try to create a gradual difference between the top and the sides instead of getting this, you know, like a ridge like this right here. I personally don't care for that, but it's artist preference. So you just go in with your finger or the palette knife and try to round it down and smooth it a little bit. And also when this dries, you can go back with some sandpaper, and then you can sand the surface and make sure that you don't have any super sharp edges or things that you're not going to want, because your paint really picks it all up. So I hope you'll give this technique a try. And again, my advice is be sure that you read the back of the label, because it will tell you whether it dries to a rigid or a flexible surface. Do not, my next tip here is, do not just go wash this down your sink, because it can build up over time and then it's going to clog your drain and you're going to have to call a plumber. So make sure you remove as much as you possibly can by scraping. Plus you're going to, the bigger containers get a little expensive, so it does go a really long way. I've done a bunch of canvases with this, but you're going to want to conserve as much as possible. But I use a paper towel to try to wipe off, and sometimes I can get it completely clean just with paper towel, or you use a counter wipe. But if you do need to wash it in the sink, just make sure that you get as much off as you possibly can. And then there was my other tip for making sure that your jars are easier to open and close, and that's just to keep a piece of plastic down first, and then take your lid and you can set the lid back down on it, and it keeps it from drying out, and it's much easier to open and close. All right, good luck. That's all for now.